Welcome to the Unpopped Review, movie reviews, movie lover, and not a movie critic. Now after Captain America Civil War, what does the future hold for the Avengers? Now before I begin, I need to say that there will be huge spoilers for Captain America Civil War and any Marvel movie that has come before. So if you don't want to be spoiled, stop this, go see my spoiler-free review, go see Captain America Civil War, and then come back and watch this. Additionally, although this is complete speculation, there may be potential spoilers for any movie in Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But honestly, I'm probably completely wrong. So let's go ahead and get to it. Now when I first walked out of Civil War, I was honestly a little disappointed that they didn't kill off a main character. And this is the opposite to the aftermath of the comic books. There, Captain America was killed soon after the events of Civil War. Because of the lack of death in the movie, I felt it was missing a sort of weight that a death could have brought. However, after my second viewing and thinking on it a little more, I feel that the divide that happened within the Avengers was just as great as a death could have brought. So what does the divide look like now? Well, in the sanctioned Avengers team, and still on Tony's side, you have Iron Man, Vision, a now crippled War Machine, and Spider-Man. And on Cap's side, you have Bucky, Falcon, Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, and possibly even Black Widow. As you can see, the official Avengers are now left lacking in numbers, and they may have a difficult time being able to accomplish missions that the Sokovia Accords sanctioned for them. Now before I go on with what I think Phase 3 has coming for the MCU, we have to talk about the movies that are on the current slate. This year we have Doctor Strange in November, then in 2017 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Thor Ragnarok. 2018 has Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War Part 1, Ant-Man, and the Wasp. And finally, in 2019, we get Captain Marvel and Avengers Infinity War Part 2. Of these 9 movies, only 2 of them feature a solo movie of a character from Civil War. Spider-Man and Black Panther. Now in order to understand the state that the Avengers are in, let's look at a comic book that I think carries the most weight with their current situation. In 2010, only 3 years after Captain America was killed in the aftermath of Civil War, he comes back to life in the comic books. He is asked to set up an Avengers team. He does this, but only on the condition that the Superhero Registration Act was completely gotten rid of. In addition to creating an official Avengers team, he also creates a team of covert and special ops-like Avengers called the Secret Avengers. This team consisted of Captain America, Beast, Moon Knight, War Machine, Valkyrie, Ant-Man, Nova, Black Widow, and Sharon Carter. But of course, these characters can easily be switched out with his current followers. Captain America used this team to take out threats before they became too big. Now, keeping this comic book in mind, we also have to identify what we know about the 6 Infinity Stones. Currently, we know the location of 4 of them. The Tesseract from the Avengers is the Space Stone. The Ether from Thor Dark World is the Reality Stone. The Orb from Guardians of the Galaxy is the Power Stone. And Loki's Scepter, which is now in Vision's head, is the Mind Stone. So the 2 we are still missing are the Soul Stone and Time Stone. The current theory is that we're going to see one in Doctor Strange, and the last Infinity Stone could appear in any film, but I personally think we won't see it until Infinity War Part 1. Now, the Russo brothers, the directors of Winter Soldier, Civil War, and also Infinity War Part 1 and 2, they stated that each Infinity War movie will be a self-contained story. So to me, that means that we might not see any of Thanos until Infinity War Part 2. So if that is the case, what does Infinity War Part 1 look like? So I think the focus of Part 1 will be showing the differences between how the 2 Avenger teams operate. Iron Man's Avengers will do things that are sanctioned by the governments of the Sokovia Accords, and Cap's Secret Avengers will do things in the dark. At some point, the 2 teams will encounter a threat from an enhanced villain with strange powers, and they will attempt to defeat him separately. Now here we have a little chink in my prediction. Since there are still 2 unknown Infinity Stones in the mix, there are 2 possibilities of where this villain might get his powers. Possibility 1, the villain possesses the Soul Stone. If this is the case, I feel the villain will probably be cosmic, which will allow us to ease into Thanos. Now there are way too many Avenger villains that come from outer space to be able to determine which one may be used. But one of my personal favorites is probably Korvac. I like the Beyonder as well, but I'd want to save him for a Secret Wars movie further down the road. If the Soul Stone is introduced in Part 1, it allows the introduction of characters like Adam Warlock or Mar-Vell. And if Mar-Vell is introduced, it will lead directly to Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel, who is currently already said to be in Part 1. Now, although a cosmic villain possessing the Soul Stone does make a lot more sense, I'd much rather see my second choice, a time-traveling villain. The MCU has yet to do time travel, but it could definitely lead to some interesting plot points. The only problem is that there are very few time-traveling villains, and even less that Marvel still own the rights to. So even though Kang the Conqueror would be the perfect choice, him being owned by Fox makes it impossible to include. Whatever villain the Avengers have to fight in Part 1, they will not be able to handle the threat on their own. So the government and Tony Stark will have to go convince Cap to join forces. And he will eventually agree, but only after the Sokovia Accords have been abolished. And once they join forces, there will of course be an epic battle. And after the battle is over and the ashes cover the ground, Thanos will emerge. And he'll reach down, grab the last Infinity Stone, place it into his gauntlet, and roll credits for Part 1. Part 2 will take place exactly where Part 1 ended, and it will have a relatively straightforward plot. Thanos will finally arrive with the purpose of either enslaving Earth or proving himself to Madam Death. At first, the Avengers seem to be beaten, but then Thor, Hulk, and the Guardians of the Galaxy will arrive, team up, and be able to stop Thanos. As you can probably tell, this is complete speculation, and I have absolutely no idea how these movies are going to play out. But I think by compiling all the information that we already have, and then by looking at the source material, we can make a pretty educated guess at some of the major plot points. Those are my theories on the future state of the Avengers. What do you think? Let me know below with your unpopped comments, and remember to always keep it unpopped.